Okay. Hi everyone. So I've spoke to you, a lot of you before about the kind of hardware refresh that we're going through with Supercomputing Wales as we move from the hardware with HPC Wales. But I'll go through that again in a bit more detail, and we're at a point now where the hardware is materialised and it's there and accessible. Okay, so Sunbird is the name given to the Swansea part of the hardware that comes with Supercomputing Wales. So it's the bit of kit that we're sharing with Ayres and is physically located in Swansea in the Dylan Thomas Centre. It's administered by Ian Morris and myself. There's a team as part of Supercomputing Wales of administrators. There's some in Cardiff, there's two I think in Cardiff, and a team that look after the Cardiff side. The Cardiff HPC kit is called Hawk. It's very similar to Sunbird. I won't go into the details of Cardiff's, but it's just a slightly bigger version of Sunbird. Also, we've got someone in Bangor and Aberystwyth who help with the system administration as well. So there's been a process where we've procured all the new kit, and the process that we went through has resulted in a partnership with Atos and Dell. Dell are providing obviously the hardware, and Atos are helping us install and configure it. The system that we've got in Cardiff has been live for a number of weeks now. It's actually very busy, being used quite heavily by Bangor and Cardiff. And the system in Swansea has just been installed in the last few weeks, and we're got in a pilot phase where any users who want to help kind of test it and see where we're at with the configuration under the condition that it's considered at risk are welcome to speak to us and join up and connect and try it out. The current Sunbird system is hosted in the Dylan Thomas Centre in a water-cooled facility. Uses about 100 kilowatts of power. We're kind of working on the idea of moving that to another data centre. It's quite costly, but that will be something for the far future, not the immediate future. No immediate downtime plan for that. So the Sunbird system's comprised of 126 nodes. 122 of those are traditional HPC compute nodes. They've got 40 cores in them. They've got about 384 gig of RAM. It's connected. We use in Mellanox EDR, so it's 100 gigabits, the latest Mellanox kit. It's a 2-to-1 blocking. The storage system we use is Lustre. There's just over a petabyte of storage available. That's kind of split up between a scratch system and a traditional home directory system. There's quotas applied for users and projects, but once you log in, you'll be assigned a quota and you can speak to us if there's any issues around that. We've also got 4 nodes with 2 GPUs in each node. It's the latest NVIDIA Voltaire V100 GPUs. There seems to be a lot of demand in the kind of AI machine learning areas for the use of those, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they're used. So the Hawk system that is currently live is pretty much the same hardware, all Dell again, working with Atos, and is all funded. I think we've kind of been through the funding of this through the WEFO project of Supercomputing Wales. The Swansea Academy of Advanced Computing, SA2C, part of that is the system administrator part of it is Ian and myself. But there's the benefit of the Supercomputing Wales project means that we've got this larger group of resources behind us and skills, so we can speak to our colleagues in Cardiff University, Bangor University. So there's a resource in Swansea which everyone in Swansea is invited to tap into to get help and support, but there's also a bigger resource that we can then tap into as well as part of Supercomputing Wales. The research software engineers, and obviously will be discussed further today, but they work closely with Ian and myself with regards to the system administration, configuration, installation. So if there is any feedback, if you do start using the new system, and there's any feedback, you could feed it directly to me or Ian or through the RSCs. So the differences from HPC Wales to Supercomputing Wales, in terms of hardware, the differences are not that great. There's around 5,000 cores. The hardware is just newer. It's faster, uses less power, it's more efficient. But in terms of access to the hardware, we've built the Supercomputing Wales system around a model of authentication and access based on researchers, not based on corporate or commercial entities. So that we've built a system where all the HPC Wales accounts that you may have had if you use HPC Wales exist in the Supercomputing Wales project. Anyone who's got an academic account in Swansea University, Cardiff University, Bangor, Aberystwyth can quickly log into a system we'll show soon in the next few slides that allows you to create an account or create projects to enable access to the Supercomputing Wales hardware. So the division being that Sunbird, the Swansea hardware, is intended primarily for use for Swansea and Aberystwyth users, and then the Hawk system primarily for Cardiff and Bangor users. But the system as a whole has one authentication system and one route of access. The actual network connectivity is different now as well. So we have a direct campus connection, direct Swansea University network connection for the Sunbird system, and a direct Cardiff University network connection for the Hawk system. So in terms of network connectivity, they're close. If you're using the university network, they're close to transfer data. We've also got a dedicated link, a 2 gigabit link between the two systems to transfer data between if we need to for any reason. Okay, so the quotas that I've kind of hinted at, we've got quite a large storage system, but there's a default quota applied for each user and a default quota for each project, which is like a shared directory, a shared space for project users. Once you log in, you can use the My Quota command to check your quota. And if you do have issues with exceeding the quota limit, contact Ian and myself, and we can discuss with you what the options are. There's no quota on Scratch, traditional Scratch kind of storage, but the data there should be working data. You should be copying the data you're going to use from home to Scratch, do whatever work you're doing, and then copy it back to your home directory, the results. And there's no guarantees on the data being kept safe in Scratch. There's no backup of the home directories as such. There's no dedicated backup of home. So we've got some solutions in place to kind of, for the security of the data, but you should keep in mind that if you've got any data in home that you want to keep long term, you should be also keeping backup of it locally. If you've got any kind of big data you need help with, speak to us and we can see what we can do to help you with that. We're using the same software, the same module load command that you would have historically used if you used HPC Wales to load software. We've ported a lot of the software and we're compiling a lot of the software to optimize it for the new hardware. So we've moved from Sandy Bridge on HPC Wales to Skylake processors in Supercomputing Wales. But when you log in, you can use module load HPCW to load all the old HPC Wales software on Sunbird. And then before you do that, you can also check using module V what optimized software is being compiled for the Skylake chips. If you do use the Cardiff system, all the Cardiff University additional software from the Raven system is also available, if anyone was collaborating with anyone in Cardiff before. So we've got a website, supercomputing.wales. There's a site behind that called my.supercomputing.wales, which is then that portal I was kind of referring to earlier, to allow you to log into using your university email address and password. So using your university accounts, you can log into that site and request credentials if you are username or password if you haven't got one from HPC Wales. We can then create accounts for you, and you can then create projects and request projects to be authorized through that website. I think there's going to be a demo on that in a minute. The big kind of difference being from HPC Wales to Supercomputing Wales with this kind of account creation process is that it's open to all academic users, whereas HPC Wales had more constraints around the commercial side. There's none of that with Supercomputing Wales, this is aimed at researchers and enabling researchers in the institution. Okay, so I think Ed's going to do a demo on the web interface to request the account and enabler project. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly run through how you can use the my.supercomputing Wales service to access the service. So I can go to my.supercomputing.wales and there we go. For some reason, Bangor is especially large today. Cardiff is being de-emphasised, but if you click on Swansea, it takes you through to the Swansea University login. So you can see it says swan.ac.uk up here, so you know you're logging into Swansea. You type in your username and password, and it takes you through to your dashboard page. Now this is the current version of the software. The version of the software with the new features for Swansea users is not live yet. It should be going live in the next few days. So I'm just going to switch over to the laptop where we have the beta version running. It's logged in as Jarno because it's Jarno's computer and Jarno's been doing the development on it. So you can see Jarno has been approved as a user. We can see Jarno is a member of a project, the SCW1000 project, to do with OpenQCD development. But if we want to apply for a project, we can create a new project here. We can say we're doing some HPC. You would put a description of your science there. For now, we're just going to do some HPC. We don't need a legacy ID because this wasn't a legacy project. I'm in SA2C. Oops. So you can see here, it's asking where this project's being funded from. So if you have received an external grant that is funding your research on this project, you can add this here. And so I can create a new thing. Let's say this local institution identifier would be your AMS identifier in Swansea. So this will have some AMS number that I'm going to make up off the top of my head because I haven't got any grants for AMS. So it's telling me this doesn't yet exist in the system. So this was doing HPC with money. And I'm going to say this has brought in £100,000. 120 zeros, £100,000 that's attributable to the Supercomputing Wales project. Supercomputing Wales has enabled me to bring in this money. And I'm going to say I received this money from STFC. I am the PI on that grant, I can say. And so I click save.
So the money value is the amount that the grant is worth. There's nothing that has to be awarded directly to.
Yes.
It's no money transfer.
There is
just information that you are
yeah.
providing.
Yeah. So
It's not a tax.
yeah. Yeah. You're not committing to pay us any money. You're just saying, of my grant, this much is attributable to Supercomputing Wales. So in some cases, you might have two different WEFO projects that have both helped you. You might need to say half of the grant is to that WEFO project, half of the grant is to Supercomputing Wales. In that case, you'd put down the half of the grant that's attributable by that. But no money would come to us. That's money you're going to spend on whatever you've said in your research proposal you're going to spend it on.
Just like what Mark was saying in the morning, that many grants actually do not even mention software development.
Exactly, yeah.
So if that's the case, do you still want an amount there, or should it be explicitly mentioned in the?
No, it's if you've got some money in externally that has required supercomputing in order to be successful, then that is attributable to the project. So I am requesting for a new funding source to be attributed. The PI will be notified and asked to attribute the funds. So I hit save.
It's worked later when I just finished the presentation on the system that we remind the audience of what this JEVO means.
Yes. Yeah.
Not everybody may be familiar. Not everybody may be interested, actually.
Yeah. So I can also attribute publications. So if I've put out a paper that has acknowledged Supercomputing Wales or has been enabled by Supercomputing Wales, I can add it. Normally you don't want to do this when you're creating the project though, because you haven't written the papers yet. So I can then submit this project application. And now it goes through to this summary page on the project. So I can manage my attributions. I can enable this checkbox that I just added. I can also say, okay, this publication I've written is also attributable to this project. And I can save that. And now the project will know that that these resources have been attributable to this project. And so then we in Supercomputing Wales know that we're doing good work, we're enabling grants, and we can go and tell WEFO we've enabled these grants. On the back side, when you click that add button, it does send an email to the PI of the grant asking them to fill out a form letter that's pre-generated. Just add an extra paragraph saying how Supercomputing Wales has helped you get that grant, so that WEFO will accept that, yes, in fact, this grant is attributable. So that's a quick look through how to create a project. Once you have a project, you can then access the Supercomputing Wales system. This takes you through to the portal with tutorial on that. You can also set your password. You can just type your password, hit save, and it will save it, set it on the cluster. So this is a huge step forward from the old system of you need to send an email to one of the sysadmins and get them to manually reset your password whenever you forget it, which is probably every 6 weeks because the system would reset your password every 6 weeks. Or expire your password every 6 weeks. So that is a quick look through the my.supercomputingwales service that you will use to get access to the system and how you can use it to tell us about all the good work you've been doing and make sure that the EU recognises that and that Welsh Government might want to fund us again in the future. So moving back to the slide deck. So the other thing to talk about, Biagio alluded at the start to the existence of these new SA2C committees. We now have the memberships of these committees confirmed. So the research committee has the brief of ensuring a high quality of research, encouraging collaborations and discussing future research directions. Its membership, it has a chair, it has permanent members from ISS and from the Academy and from SA2C. It has university nominated members, and it has members nominated by this user forum in the emails that went out before the summer. The technical committee ensures that technical resources are adequate, run smoothly, and evaluate novel solutions. And the higher members are similar. It also has membership from the system administration team. And then it has university nominated and user nominated members. And then finally, the delivery committee ensures that projects are viable, objectives are being met, and scopes out new opportunities. And its membership, again, has permanent members and a chair from the chair this time is the Academy Director. And again, it has university nominated and user nominated members. So at some point in the future, there will be elections to replace the user nominated members to keep them cycling through. And that is all we have on the committee structure. So now, Recon demo we have already had, so this slide didn't get deleted for some reason. So now we're going to move forward to the advertised HPC at Swansea panel. So could the panelists please take your seats at the front of the panel table?